another perfect night for baseball, and so far this has been a perfect homestand for the Minnesota Twins. Game 2 between the Twins and the White Sox, but the storyline tonight, the franchise is pitching for a different franchise. Francisco Liriano's first start for his new team, the Chicago White Sox, against his old team, the Minnesota Twins. Dick Kramer, Bert Blyleven with you for Game 2 from Target Field. And a lot of people watching tonight wondering what they're going to see in Francisco Liriano, particularly those people in the gray road uniforms.
I think we're wondering what Liriano will show up when we have seen Francisco Liriano at his best. It all keys off the fastball. When he can hit his spots, Liriano usually pitches deep into the ball game, but when he gets a little bit out of that strike zone and loses that release point, well, not good things will happen. He'll start leaving the ball up a little bit, falling behind in the count, and of course hitters are going to be looking for one pitch, and that's something over the plate that they can handle, and which Liriano will show up.
The oddity of this whole situation isn't lost on anyone. Even yesterday, Liriano commented on that.
I don't know yet. I haven't think about it at all, because I don't want to get too excited, too nervous, and I don't know, just gonna go out there tomorrow and try to do my job, and hope the team wins some ball again, and facing my old teammates, my first game, so it's gonna feels weird, but it's nothing I can do about it. Just go out there and play.
I've watched him pitch a lot, from center field, and I've seen him, when he's on and when he's pitching great. So. It's going to be a little different, getting in the box. He's one of those guys, one of our pitchers, where I've always said that, if I didn't want to face somebody, it would be him.
His last start as a Twin was against the White Sox. His first start for the White Sox against the Twins. More on Frankie's return to Target Field in a moment. Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
Twins tonight trying to win their 5th consecutive game, which would tie a season high. Twins and White Sox here at Target Field on Fox Sports North. I'm Robbie Spakowski. Thanks for tuning in. Well, Francisco Liriano is the big story tonight as he starts against the Twins in a Chicago White Sox uniform. And earlier I asked a couple of his brand new teammates about Francisco Liriano and what he brings to the Chicago White Sox.
Well, hopefully we get the, a dominant left-handed pitcher that we've seen him be before. He has the ability to strike guys out. He has the ability to dominate lineups. He has the ability to shut down lefties completely. So if we can get that out of him and he can give us, 5, 6, 7 innings every time out and just try to limit the walks, and he can be a factor in this race and hopefully contribute a whole lot and help us get to where we want to go, which is hopefully to the postseason.
He's got a great arm. Everybody knows that. And, we're in the middle of a race here. So, hopefully he can come over here and, not try to do too much, just go out and give us a chance to win. And we've been swinging the bats pretty well. So, no need for him to try to do more than he has to do. Just come over and, try to get some outs and just fill in.
Well, Francisco Liriano certainly looks a little bit awkward in a Chicago White Sox uniform, and that walk has to be an awkward one for him as well. He takes the mound opposite Nick Blackburn for the Twins, and Dick and Bert have first pitch next on Fox Sports North.
An enigma for the Twins. At times electric. Great stuff that helped him become an all-star. Throw a no-hitter and strike out 15 hitters in a game. Mixed in with the glory, plenty of hard times, injuries, consistency issues, and frequent frustration. With free agency pending, the Twins decided to trade their most talented pitcher. Tonight, he makes his debut for the White Sox, and he does so against his former teammates. The matchup is next on Fox Sports North. And the White Sox come to town as the first place ball call. The Twins hoping to extend a winning streak to 5 at Liriano's expense. And the White Sox send out this Menards batting order. Alejandro De Aza with 4 hits last night. Kevin Youkilis batting second. Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko, Alex Reyes, A.J. Pierzynski, Diane Viciedo, Alexei Ramirez, and Gordon Beckham.
And for the Twins on the mound tonight, it'll be Nick Blackburn. Blackburn making his 16th start of the year. He's just looking for a quality start. It's been a struggle all season long for Nick Blackburn. Of his 15 starts, only 2 quality starts where he's pitched at least 6 innings and given up 3 earned runs or less, making his 20th career start against the Chicago White Sox.
Northland Fort defense for the Twins. Josh Willingham in left, and Art Span had a great game yesterday. He's back out in center. Darren Mastroianni getting the start at right. Valencia, Dozier, Carroll, Morneau around the infield. Domas behind the plate. Joe Mauer is in the lineup as the designated hitter. 2 great catches last night for Denard Span, and we are happy to see him out there for tonight's game. The trading deadline came and passed with both Span, Morneau, Willingham, all of them back with the club.
A lot of other names were mentioned too, and good to see. Other than Liriano, everybody's still in the Twins uniform. Terry Ryan right there, the general manager. Going to relax a little bit here tonight, where probably the last couple 2-3 weeks he's had that phone in his ear.
Strike 1 to De Aza, who had 4 hits last night. He was out of the lineup for a couple of games with a sore wrist. No evidence of it last night. A roller to Dozier. Over to Morneau. And count the ground ball outs. That'll be the key for Blackburn here tonight.
Always is for Nick Blackburn. Keep that ball down in the strike zone. Get ground ball outs if you can. 107 hits in 75 innings pitched for Blackburn. Too many hits, 23 walks, and only 33 strikeouts. So he's a contact type pitcher, so you have to keep the ball down. Work both sides of the plate.
And Youkilis takes a fastball for strike 1. Missing inside, 1-1.
For Blackburn, he's making his 134th major league start. Now, he's always pitched better at home than he has on the road. In Minnesota, he's 26-18 combined in 67 career starts.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
But it's been a struggle this year for Nick Blackburn. Found himself back in AAA, came up a couple starts ago, pitched very well 2 starts ago, and then his last start struggled against the Chicago White Sox. Gave up 8 earned runs. 3rd time in his career he's given up 8 earned runs in a ball game.
2-2. And a tapper foul. The Twins were buried in the standings after the first 2 months of the year. The Twins were 6-16 in April, 12-16 in May. And an odd pitching matchup here tonight, because you could make the case that Liriano and Blackburn were 2 of the principal reasons why this team fell out of the race so quickly.
Well, you come out of spring training, you expect Pavano to win 15, 16 ball games. He's on a disabled list. He's missed a lot of time. Another ground ball out for Blackburn. So far, so good.
Beautiful summertime weather here as we wrap up the month of July. 84 degrees. With some high wispy clouds, nothing to be concerned about.
Look at those shades.
Yeah, and
cool, baby. Cool, baby.
Here is Adam Dunn. Speaking of monthly records, if the Twins can win here tonight, even though July has not been a good month, the Twins can finish it at 500.
Yeah, right now they're 12-13 in the month of July.
One strike to Dunn. And now 2 strikes. Dunn had a peculiar game for him last night. 0 for 5. That part's not that unusual. But he put the ball in play 5 times. He didn't strike out once. And I'm guessing they're rare is the game when you find one where he doesn't walk, doesn't homer, or doesn't strike out.
Well, leading the American League in walks, but also strikeouts. Also leading in home runs with 31.
Foul back, still 1-2.
He's a big man. Adam Dunn, 6'6", 285 pounds is what the media guide says. In his 12th major league season, his second with the Chicago White Sox. Get that ball down. You see Domet right there. Put that glove down. Get the ball down just on the other side of home plate. Trust me, I will block it and I'll keep it in front of me. That's why the catcher keeps that glove like he did right there, Domet.
13 pitches, 10 strikes for Blackburn.
Fastball in. Get it in there.
Scalded. Foul by about 8 feet.
.396 career home runs for Adam Dunn. Came up with the Reds, also spent time with the Diamondbacks and Nationals.
High fastball got him in a good first inning for Nick Blackburn. Francisco Liriano will pitch against the Twins when we come back. Eight for the Chicago White Sox, taking a familiar mound, but pitching in the bottom half of the inning, not the top. Menard batting order for the Twins to face Liriano. Denard Span, Darren Mastroianni, Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Ryan Domet, Danny Valencia, Brian Dozier, and Jamie Carroll.
Well, Francisco Liriano, of course, making his 18th start of the year and his first against the Minnesota Twins. Liriano getting traded a couple days ago by the Twins to the Chicago White Sox. Pretty nervous time. I've been here for where Liriano is. You don't know what you're going to get out of Liriano tonight, but I guarantee he's going to be pumped up.
Fastball's up high, ball one. We would expect the Twins hitters, who are patient by nature anyway, Span, to take some pitches and see what Liriano can do about throwing strikes. There's one, 1-1.
And the GMC keys to the game, I feel, for the Twins is be patient at the plate, but look for the fastball to hit early if he's going to lay a cookie, because that's what I'm sure Don Cooper wants him to do.
Liriano threw him a slider. Span stuck the bat out, poked the single to right.
It was funny on our pregame. It was Denard Span saying that, you know, he has watched Liriano from center field. He's one guy that he wouldn't want to face because of the stuff that he has. But this is a slider that just kind of stayed up a little bit, and Span just basically dropping the barrel of the bat and getting the first hit.
I'll be curious in situations like this what the Twins do with their running game. Now, Span's been a little reluctant to steal bases as of late, but one thing that at times got under Liriano's skin was the running game for the other team. And Mastroianni squaring to bunt. And I'll include bunting as part of the running game. Just putting on plays, trying to create something on the base paths. Mastroianni takes ball one. 2-0.
Well, Liriano, of course, coming into the ballgame his 18th start, 55 walks in 100 innings pitched.
Two and one. Mastroianni getting the start. Ron Gardenhire saying, hey, he hasn't played in a few games. We need to get him in the lineup. He runs well, which again might be a benefit here tonight against Liriano.
That gives Ben Revere a day off right here.
Liner to second, and it'll be a double play. Span trapped off of first. Mastroianni lines into a double play, 2 down. Northland Ford defense for the White Sox. Viciedo, De Aza, Rios, the outfielders. Youkilis, Ramirez, Beckham, Konerko around the infield, and Pierzynski behind the plate.
Unusual game for Chicago last night because they made 3 errors. That's unlike the Chicago White Sox. They're normally this year has been a very solid defense. Twins took advantage and scored 3 unearned runs against the White Sox last night.
Fastball down the middle. White Sox had a 5-game losing streak, lost the series finale in Texas, and lost last night's game because of poor defense. And Robin Ventura, after the game, told the team, look, stop making errors. It's that simple, apparently. 2 strikes to Mauer. And he went. So Liriano gives up a leadoff base hit, but faces just 3 men in the inning. By Alex Rios and A.J. Pierzynski. Look at Mike Trout leading the league. Konerko's kind of caught a little bit of a second wind the last week or so. Yeah,
Konerko last year hit an even 300. Now the home runs are down a little bit. Last year he had 31 home runs, drove in 105, but that average at 330.
Been particularly good against the Twins. First pitch tapped to third. Valencia steps into his throw, 1 away early here in the second inning. Saturday, August 4th, the UFC returns to Fox. 4 massive fights, including knockout artist Shogun Rua taking on Brandon Vera in the biggest fight of his career, plus an epic bout between former UFC champ Lyoto Machida and rising star Ryan Bader. UFC Fight Night on Fox, sponsored by Bud Light, is live from Los Angeles Saturday, August 4th, 7 o'clock Central.
Very good. Well read again.
One gone. Here's Rios taking a strike. I can't remember the last time. We just saw the White Sox last week in Chicago and again here last night. I can't remember the last time Rios didn't hit the ball hard. I mean, he seems to be squaring up just about everything. That one smashed down the line and a fair ball. Rios around first, on his way to second. He's got a double.
Yeah, it was Rios last night that Carroll made a great play on at second base, and then in his third at bat is the one that Span made a great catch out in left center. Right here, even though that ball's away, got the barrel of the bat out quickly, and the ball hooked over the bag, just out of the reach of Danny Valencia. Almost hits one. It actually did hit the umpire Johnson, but it's a double for Rios. First hit off of Blackburn, and for Rios his 26th double.
A.J. Pierzynski hit a 3-run home run in the first inning last night. Made a critical throwing error late in the game in the 9th inning, and there's ball one.
Well, there's a lot of good numbers against Nick Blackburn for the Chicago White Sox. Making his 20th start, he's 9-8, but an ERA at 4.6 over his career. And over the last 3 starts against the White Sox, dating back to last year, Blackburn 0-3 with an ERA over 11.
Now, we mentioned both Blackburn and Liriano got off to poor starts. Both had great spring training. So next March, when we're on TV or you're reading about somebody having a great spring, whether it's with the Twins or a different team, just don't pay any attention because it really doesn't matter. But Blackburn came out of the spring throwing the ball about as well as he ever has. And then the season started. There's a drive to the right field corner. Rios holding up. He'll only gain third base with the throw coming to second. Now Rios didn't get a good read on that ball. We could see from up here that ball was going to hit the wall. And he held up momentarily and is only able to advance to third base.
Well, A.J. hitting this ball sharply, a breaking ball or something slow, and that ball, maybe Mastroeni, the way that he went after it, Rios just didn't pick it up right away and kind of hung around, and he could only stop at third.
Now Blackburn, who's gotten 3 ground ball outs among the 4 on the board, hoping to get Viciedo to beat it into the ground at somebody. A little bit low, ball one.
Rios right there kind of shook his head right off the get-go, right as he started to run, like, boy, I knew I made a mistake right there. So Blackburn does need a ground ball right here. Or a strikeout.
Viciedo with a hefty swing.
Yeah, that's one thing that we have seen go down over the last couple of years. Nick Blackburn, not a lot of double plays turned behind him.
This to right center field. Revere to the gap, or Mastroeni rather, with a nice catch. Rios will score from third, and Pierzynski retreats. That ball nearly curled back over Mastroeni's head.
Yeah, I kind of sliced on him right there. Mastroeni and Span, of course, Ben Revere out there. These guys have a tremendous speed. Mastroeni went after this ball, and then the ball kind of came back on him, but able to leap up, and his momentum. Nice concentration. Able to get that ball in his glove for the second out, but Viciedo picking up his 51st RBI. The White Sox take a 1-0 lead.
Alexei Ramirez will hit. Down and in, ball one. Soft line drive caught by the second baseman Carroll to end the inning. Alex Rios with a 1-out double and eventually the game's first run.
Josh Willingham about to step to the plate. He's one of just 2 Twins who have ever faced Francisco Liriano on the current roster. And it was last season, and Willingham did experience success to the ultimate degree, hitting a home run. That was actually one of 2 home runs Willingham hit in that game. And Dick and Bird, I asked Willingham yesterday if he remembered hitting that home run. He said, of course I did. In that deep Alabama draw, he goes, it was a 3-0 heater. I wasn't missing that one.
Well, let's see if he can get the count to 3-0 here leading off the second inning. There's strike 1. Willingham, Morneau, and Doumit with the White Sox up a run 1-0. It is not a coincidence that about an hour before Liriano threw his first pitch for the White Sox announced that they won't be using John Danks anymore. We'll talk more about that later on, but the two go hand in hand. Liriano becoming a necessity because of pitch, not inning pitched numbers for some of their inexperienced starters, and then some ineffectiveness and some injury situation. 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Good slider right there in a fastball situation. Josh Willingham has hit 11 home runs in the month of July, 1 fewer than Harmon Killebrew, the all-time July home run hitter.
Strike 3. Willingham is gone. Field and Culbreth rang him up down the first baseline. 1 down.
Well, another slider down in the strike zone. Willingham tried to lay off of it, but the barrel of the bat went a little bit too far. Liriano picks up his second strikeout.
And now Morneau. Ball 1. Morneau, good night at the plate last night, getting 3 hits against left-handed pitching. Swing and a miss. All season long it's been an issue, but we've seen encouragement over the last month. As I said last night, now more and more it doesn't make any difference whether the pitcher is right-handed or left-handed. He's putting more consistently good swings on it.
Yeah, Justin's saying that, you know what, I mean, Justin's a guy that would go down to the bullpen a lot of times before a ball game and stand in there when the pitcher's throwing. And he said, you know, I stood in there numerous times when Liriano was getting ready for a ball game just to see what kind of stuff he had and maybe, you know, prepare him for whoever's on the mound for the opposing team. To see a left-hander, he said, I've always stood there. I've never swung. He says, now I get to swing. And hopefully he makes good contact.
It's not 3-0, but it is 3-1. A fastball on the outside corner. Morneau expressing some relief that he's still a member of the Twins.
Good fastball, great location.
And he gets a piece there. Full count to Morneau. And Morneau draws a walk. Ron Coomer, we've seen Francisco Liriano pitch for the Twins. What will be their approach, the hitter's approach, against Liriano as an opponent?
Well, I think you guys are right. It's going to be patience. The big key to me, obviously, he's got a great arm, and if he can throw strikes with the fastball, as you talked about earlier, Bert, he's much more effective. But the one key to me is having at-bats that you grind out and make him throw pitches, because the one thing on Frankie, he can definitely throw a lot of pitches in a ball game, and you can get his pitch count up pretty easy. I think that's the key. Is early in the count, be patient. You really can get ahead in the count as a hitter and then know you're going to get the fastball. The other thing guys were saying today, you know when you go to 2 strikes, you're getting the slider, and that's for sure.
Well, I wasn't listening to a word you said, Ron, because we had a foul ball hit up here in the booth.
Yeah, we haven't had too many.
Yeah, my partner actually made the effort to go get for it, reach to his right for it.
Well, it was it was out of my way.
And it actually hit the camera, didn't it?
It hit something. Wasn't my hand.
I heard something
He actually went for the ball?
He moved to his right.
Really?
Not very far.
No. How many years did you play and you didn't do that?
About 22.
2 strikes to Doumit with Morneau at first.
I was ready to back up a base already. Good stop by A.J. right there, keeping the ball in front of him.
2.5 years. I think that's just the second one that's come in here, isn't it?
I'll tell you, getting back to Frankie, you can see he's really fired up tonight throwing. He's trying to calm down. I know in talking to some of the White Sox guys, they were trying and asking what's the keys to him, and just, obviously in relaxing. But he's misfired tonight, throwing that last slider about 3 feet in front of the plate and a few fastballs way up out of the zone.
And Doumit lines it to right field. Rios is there for the catch, out number 2. We'll see Doumit hit too many balls in that direction. And that'll bring up Danny Valencia.
Well, I'm sure Rick Anderson right there talking to Don Cooper, maybe about Liriano. One thing about Rick Anderson, he took Liriano like Francisco was his son. He told me over the years, I would scold him. I would try to pat him on the back, whatever it took to try to get Liriano focused into throwing strikes. And now the job is up to Don Cooper. So, Cooper is supposed to be known to kind of help kids out, but he may say something that might be the same thing that Rick Anderson's been telling him for years that might click. You never know.
Might say it with a little bit of a southern drawl, and somehow it'll click in. Valencia taking ball 1. Valencia's picked up a couple of hits since his recall, including a sharp single to lead off the 9th inning last night. And that's a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, Danny wearing his socks high as Dozier is, the on-deck batter, trying something new. Well, that goes back to my days with Calvin Griffith and the Twins. We had to show socks, we had to show our stirrups, and you had to show the TC on the side of your sock.
Well, they don't wear stirrups anymore.
No.
Very rarely will a player wear it.
Right.
Just pull the pant legs up, tuck them in under the knee. 2-1 to Valencia. Off the end of the bat foul, 2-2. Trevor Plouffe had his hand examined by Dr. Vareca, the hand specialist, and they said it's just going to take time. That was this afternoon. How much time remains to be seen. Plouffe on the disabled list. I think he can come off as early as Sunday. 2-2 to Valencia. And hauled out on strikes. And Morneau is left at first. 2 innings in the books, and the White Sox lead 1-0.
questions came from Chad Johnson, who asked, what effect does your spot in the batting order have on your confidence and morale? Here's his answer.
I don't put too much emphasis on it, whether I'm, hitting 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th. I really kind of try to take the same approach. I don't try to alter my stance or my approach regardless of where I'm hitting the lineup. I just try to be the same guy.
And one note for the fans out there, you can get your questions in. Just use the hashtag #AskATwin when you send in your questions every Tuesday for Twitter Tuesday, Dick.
Thank you, Robbie. Gordon Beckham leading things off in the third, taking a strike, then taking a ball from Nick Blackburn. On the outside corner.
Good pitch right there by Blackburn.
Trying to come back inside for strike 3, but it's 2-2. Slow breaking ball and a lazy fly ball to left. In fact, it's the shortstop Dozier gloving it, 1 away. And every Twins game, businesses of all sizes host their employees and clients, making it a fun night of baseball. You can take advantage of all this beautiful ballpark can offer. The Twins are an inexpensive and simple way to entertain in a setting your employees and clients will be sure to enjoy. Fans have had a lot of fun here in this homestand. So organize your group of more than 25 today by calling 800-33-TWINS and ask about a group outing. Here's De Aza taking strike 1.
See a lot of the shots right there. A lot of the RBI young men that are here for the World Series, RBI World Series tournament. Good fastball here by Blackburn, getting strike 1.
To center. Span coming in for out number 2. That'll bring up Kevin Youkilis. Second year in a row that the Twins at Target Field have hosted the RBI World Series in its 20th year. We'll learn more about that here once we get into the middle innings. 2 down on the third. Here's Youkilis. Ball 1.
Some of the young men, the coaches
from all over the country and the Dominican Republic, Venezuela. Fly ball to right field, and Mastroianni puts it away. 3 fly ball outs to the quick 1-2-3 third for Nick Blackburn.
Us and we'll see. We know what he has. We know his pitches better than anyone. But will you be able to hit them, and will he be able to throw them over? Is all the questions. We'll see.
And so far so good for Francisco Liriano. He is getting ahead with a fastball. He is, once he gets ahead, he working that slider in. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Only hit by Denard Span, the first batter he faced.
You are absolutely right. But if we've learned anything in watching this man pitch over the years, in no way should that be a predictor for what's going to happen here in the 3rd inning. You know, I mean, well, how many times did we see it where he looked like he was locked in, had great control, and all of a sudden there'd be that inning and everything would fall apart?
Well, the big thing is just a release point with the fastball. Sometimes he gets underneath the ball. Sometimes he has a tendency to open up. And those are little things that I'm sure Don Cooper, as Rick Anderson, will try to continue to try to get him to have that solid delivery. You know, we've shown this over and over. He lands on his heel, basically, and then you can see his momentum kind of land on the heel and almost recoil a little bit rather than come over.
Fly ball to center. Easy play for De Aza. 1 down. That'll bring up Jamie Carroll. Scott Diamond, who has succeeded Liriano now, I guess, as the ace of the staff.
Well, Diamond will be pitching tomorrow afternoon against Jake Peavy, another good pitching matchup here in a 12-10 game.
Jamie Carroll will bat. 0 for 5 against Liriano, but he has drawn 4 walks. Strike 1.
Well, right now, 4 of 9 batters have been able to get strike 1.
Just off the plate, 1-1.
I said earlier, I've been in this situation. You get traded from the A ball club, and then you face them. You know, for Liriano, it's only been a couple days since the trade, but when you come back, there is a little bit of vengeance in your system that you want to beat the other team maybe a little bit more than normal.
2-1. 3-1. Carroll with no hits against Liriano, but he's reached 4 times on free passes. Three and 2. It was last year in August. The Twins ended up trading Delman Young to the Tigers while the Twins were in Detroit. This is kind of similar. The White Sox were the next team up on the Twins schedule. Liriano never went down to Texas to be with the White Sox after the trade. He just stayed here instead for his new team to come to him.
Yeah, the trade happening on Saturday, and they played Sunday night in Texas, so Liriano just waited here.
Full count to Carroll. And a tapper foul. There have been other examples, I guess, years ago. Rick Aguilera traded from the Twins to the Red Sox and took his stuff to the other clubhouse at the Metrodome. Full count. And Carroll draws his 5th walk against Liriano.
I think when everybody saw Francisco Liriano, it was Johan Santana that was kind of the second pitcher on that staff because of what Liriano was able to do back in 2006. Made the All-Star team, and then he had the Tommy John surgery, and he really has not really been the Liriano everybody expected him when he first came up. He did win 14 ball games a couple of years ago, but this year really came out of the blocks really poorly. Had that stretch of 10 starts prior to his last start that he pitched very well, an ERA under 3 for 10 starts.
Span takes a strike over the inside corner.
Span, the only hit of the ball game off of Liriano. Left-handers came into this game hitting only 195 against Francisco. Of the 12 home runs he's allowed, left-handers have only hit 1. And that was Adam Dunn in his last start in Chicago.
1 strike to Span, and Carroll checked it first. Of course, you've got the unusual situation here. Liriano pitching to Pierzynski as his battery mate, and the Twins got Liriano in the first place when they traded Pierzynski to the Giants. One strike to Span.
Well, Carroll at first base, 6 stolen bases in 9 attempts.
Ooh, where was that? That looked like that was right down the middle. Well, it wasn't down the middle, but it was in the strike zone. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Muchlinski behind the plate, fielded Culbreth at first, Lance Barksdale at second. Last night's plate umpire Adrian Johnson at third. One and two to Denard Span. 2-2. Span. A restless night last night, some anxiety today, and he tweeted after 3 o'clock, and he still has his Twins undershirt and shorts on.
Span there last night saying, "Terry Ryan, please do not trade me." He's enjoyed his time here in Minnesota, and like every player, I think they'd like to wear that uniform their whole career.
Span had to deal with some inaccurate reporting earlier in the day. The network reported that Span declined a trade to the Cincinnati Reds. He has no rights to do such a thing. No deal was put in place in front of him. Little ball flipped into left center, and Span's 2 for 2 against Liriano. So Span, just protective of the plate, stuck the bat out again, and he's 2 for 2 against Liriano.
Yeah, shades of his first at bat when Liriano left the breaking ball up. He just kind of pulled it. This one here, Liriano goes to the fastball, and Span just dropping the barrel of the bat. Just you see softly hitting that ball into left center.
And now Darren Mastroianni hit a line drive to Beckham at second. Span was trapped off of first. Some speed out there. Carroll runs fairly well. Span runs very well. Mastroianni again showing bunt, taking a strike. In the Cleveland series, we saw the Twins twice execute a double steal. Foul back, 2 strikes.
Well, Liriano, 50 pitches, 30 strikes.
Oh, and 2 to the Twins right fielder. There they go. And Mastroianni lifts it down the right field line. Rios has no play. So Carroll took off. Span hesitated, then he took off. And Mastroianni fought it off foul.
Yeah, with 2 strikes, you have to protect the plate. And even though the runners were going, the pitch was near a strike. And Mastroianni just had to kind of swing at it and just went foul. Carroll got a very good jump.
Still 2 strikes. This one drilled to right center field. De Aza running to the gap, making a running catch. Carroll, the lead runner, will tag. Mastroeni hit the ball hard twice against Liriano. He's 0 for 2. But now the tying run 90 feet away.
Yeah, that ball had a little bit of hang time. It allowed Piazza to catch up to that ball. Watch this ball right here. The ball had a little bit of time, and the speed of Piazza just catching up to it. And he gets it back in. Look at the concentration of the eyes. Ball into the glove. Runners at the corners with 2 outs for Joe Mauer.
Mauer struck out on 3 pitches back in the first inning. Smothered by Pierzynski. Top 10 hitters against left-handed pitching are all right-handed batters or switch hitters, except for Mauer. He's the only lefty in the top 10. 1-0. Belt high strike over the inside corner. Twins have a couple of walks and a couple of hits against Liriano.
Yeah,
2-1. One of the frustrating aspects of Liriano's performance with the Twins the last 2 years, situations like this. And for a veteran pitcher, at times did not do a good job with damage control. Two and two to Mauer.
He went to the fastball away. Joe Mauer, one of the best in this situation right here with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Trying to get Carroll in from third base. There goes Span, and it's ball 3. So Span just stutter steps his way to second base, and it's a full count, first base open, and Willingham on deck.
Span getting a stolen base. That's his 12th of the year.
Second and third, 2 down and a full count now to Mauer.
In these situations, we've seen him go to that changeup. We've seen him go to the slider. What will he throw?
And Mauer takes a fastball and fouls it off his front leg.
Fastball middle in.
Late in the ball game last night, Mauer drove one to left field against left-hander Matt Thornton, and he thought the ball was gone. He hit it, he said, really well last night. The ball died on the warning track. Viciedo made a nice catch. Another 3-2 pitch. Ball. Oh my! Mike Lichlinski calls it strike 3 instead of ball 4. And from up here, it looked like it was well inside. largest wiffle ball tournament. Popsicles, the Big Whiff, held at 10 locations across the state, August 18th and 19th. Proceeds will benefit the Miracle League of Minnesota, providing every kid the chance to play baseball. Register your team at thebigwhiff.com. 1-0 Chicago, top of the fourth. Adam Dunn in the box, taking ball one. And Blackburn gets a generous inside corner. 1-1.
You know, Dick, we're going to go back to that Mauer strikeout, but I think what set that up is not only that pitch, maybe it was inside, but it's the pitches that A.J. was calling, fastballs in off of Joe Mauer. That's a pretty good pitch right there.
Two and one, the count to Dunn. Struck out swinging his first time up. Line to Morneau, a hooking liner. Dunn smoked it for the first out. All right, here's strike three to Joe Mauer.
Well, watch A.J. now. He goes back inside and hits the glove. A.J. brings it up a little bit, but you can see by Fox track it's a bit inside. But it's not the only time that A.J. sat inside in that plate appearance.
It's still a ball.
It's a ball, but you know, umpires, they're going to give you a little bit if you keep hitting that glove.
Whoa.
Watch out.
Up and in to Konerko, who got hit in the left shoulder last night by Cole DeVries.
Now this ball just slipping right there. Looked like maybe a breaking ball at 77 miles an hour. Just stayed up and in.
2-0. Might not be a more respected hitter in the game than Paul Konerko. And it's not just because of the numbers he's put up year after year after year.
He plays the game hard.
3-0 earlier this year. Jeff Samardzija of the Cubs hit him with an off-speed pitch in the jaw, and he stayed in the game. At the knees, 3-1. And Konerko is, by some standards, having a career year. You look at Alex Rios, he's having a great year.
Konerko making the All-Star team again for the 6th time, and he draws a walk here. Up here in the Circle Me Burt section, we have Lauren Mauer. Now you spell Mauer a little bit different, but you do have Mauer on there, and you're 7.5. Lauren, we've met at Twins Fest before. Welcome up to the booth. I know your dad's right here, so welcome. Enjoy the ball game, and thank you for being a Twins fan. And a Joe Mauer fan.
Here's Rios, doubled down the left field line, his first time up, and scored the lone run of the game. A strike down away at the knee.
Lauren Mauer going to be a senior at Blaine High School in Blaine.
Popped up. Mastroianni, a fair ball catch out, number 2. Tomorrow at 12:10, the Twins and White Sox will be closing out the series. It's a Treasure Island Senior Day. Fans 55 and better or older can get a $5 discount on Field Box and Powerball Pavilion tickets for all weekday day games. Line up your Treasure Island Senior Day tickets by calling 833-TWINS or logging on to twinsbaseball.com. Here's A.J. Pierzynski. Rifled a shot off the fence in right field. Advanced Rios from second to third. Then Rios scored on Vicieto's fly ball.
Alex Rios in his last pitch, a little upset of himself because he thought he should have done a little bit better with that ball. Popped it straight up.
1 strike to Pierzynski. 1-1.
Blackburn needs a ground ball out. He has not had a ground ball out since the first out of the 2nd inning.
Yeah. Another fly ball that should be an out. Tall fly ball to left. Willingham under it. That's the end of the top of the 4th. It's still 1-0. Fox Sports North is brought to you by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. By CenturyLink, a different kind of communications company. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here. A pitcher's duel, a former Twin pitcher and Nick Blackburn. As we go to the bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0. Liriano will pitch to the middle of the Twins lineup, starting with Josh Willingham. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, changeup right there. Had a little bit of movement down and away. Willingham, a strikeout victim, swung at a slider down for Liriano's second strikeout to lead off the second inning.
Another one. Same pitch, same spot, same swing, same result. 0-2.
Liriano with 4 strikeouts, a couple walks. Yeah, why not try it again?
1-2.
Take a look where the first 2 are. We'll try another changeup.
And a slider got him. Took it for strike 3. So Liriano's done very well against the 3 and 4 batters. Mauer and Willingham 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, after 3 sliders, he goes with that little changeups, then goes with a slider, picks up his 5th strikeout.
You can submit questions during our telecast at carsoup.com/baseball. Ron Meyer from Sauk Center wondering if there's more pressure when you face your former teammates for the first time.
I don't know if there's more pressure. It's just you pumped up a little bit more than a normal start.
And down low 2-0 now to Morneau. Now you were traded from the Twins to Texas. How long after that?
Not too long after that. I came to Minnesota and then pitched at the Met. Dave Goltz was my mound opponent, and Gene Mauch was a manager. And for some reason in that ball game, Gene Mauch decided to coach third because our dugout was over by the third base side. He was going to coach third and try to rattle me a little bit. And it didn't work because I pitched a 2-hit shutout against him.
Well, imagine how well you would have pitched if they hadn't rattled you.
Well, you know what? He started talking to me right off the get-go, and I kind of had a conversation with him, and I kind of threw a curveball here, and I'd look at him and say, "How'd you like that one?"
2-2.
And honestly, about the 4th inning, 5th inning, he wasn't there anymore.
Viciedo with a catch of Morneau's fly ball, 2 down.
Ron Coomer, you've been traded before, and all of a sudden you're going to face your club. Pretty exciting time, though, isn't it?
It sure is. When you come back to play your old buddies and your old team, there's always, like you said, a little extra adrenaline rush going into the ball game. You know, maybe you get, I don't know if there's more focus, but just a little, your game tightens up just a little bit, and you really have, that edge of wanting to beat your old buddies.
Doman takes a strike at the knees.
And it's hard getting traded, too. People talk about trades this time of the year. It's not easy. It's not easy on the players. It's not easy on the family. There's a lot of things that go into just, hey, he's going to a new ball club. You have to find a place to stay. You have to find new friends on a new ball club.
1-1 to Doman. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Good changeup again. That changeup really moving away to right-handed hitter. Saw it from Willingham, and right there that pitch to Doman.
And Doman strikes out. And Liriano has his first 1-2-3 inning. there. Just text the word value followed by a space and the player's name to short code 234-234. It's spread across the board because we haven't seen much action yet. 1-0 ball game with the White Sox in front. It was my pleasure today to MC the luncheon today, kicking off the 20th annual RBI World Series. We played the championship games here at Target Field, and David James, the director of the MLB RBI program, is with us here during the top of the fifth. Great time today and just a great turnout. And boy, you could see the excitement in the kids' faces today at the lunch.
Yeah, that was quite an amazing experience. Commissioner Seelig is the keynote speaker. A wonderful opportunity for these young men in their pursuit and their careers in baseball.
Now, this is the 20th anniversary for the RBI World Series, but the RBI program was founded by John Young back in 1989, right, in Southern California.
That is correct. Mr. Young realized at that time in South Central Los Angeles that young African-American males weren't drawn to the game anymore, and came up with this idea to provide some opportunities, and we're all very fortunate to continue to fulfill his mission and his dream.
I had a chance during the luncheon today to kind of go from table to table and wish everybody good luck. As you can see the commissioner of baseball right there, Bud Selig, the keynote speaker.
Twins Hall of Famer Tony Oliva, three baseball Hall of Famers, Mr. Blyleven, Mr. Carew, and Mr. Molitor there. One out here in the fifth. One strike to Alexei Ramirez. You know, going back here locally, I know that the Twins started something not quite 20 years ago. Dave Winfield, Kirby Puckett were instrumental in starting a rookie league program, which was folded into the RBI program here. And there were a lot of donations by Kirby and Dave donating gloves and equipment to inner city youth in the Twin Cities. And it has to be gratifying for you to see how this program has spread all across the country, and the participation continues to skyrocket.
Yeah, over 200,000 young men and women ages 5 to 18 this year playing the program. And obviously here locally, the legacy that Kirby and Dave started, that almost 6,000 kids here in the Twin Cities area play RBI every year.
Twins Community Fund, a big supporter, and they've donated $75,000 to both the Minneapolis and the St. Paul City Parks Department each year, $150,000 total. That helps over 4,000 kids play baseball and softball. That's awesome.
And you talk about a happy coincidence. The field is divided into a junior division and a senior division, and 8 teams in each division. And one of the representatives in each division, the White Sox RBI chapter. And so here they are, being able to see the White Sox play the Twins in a major league game right before the tournament starts.
And it was very nice on the parade of champions, I guess we could call it, for the teams before the game today. It was very nice to see the White Sox players, the coaches, Harold Baines in particular, came out and really talked to the kids and wished them good luck during the tournament while they're here in Minnesota.
Dozier to his left, a quick 1-2-3 inning, and our thanks to David James, the director of the MLB RBI program. Big event in the Twin Cities, finishing here at Target Field.
Holding $100 here in my hand of Minnesota State Lottery scratch-off tickets here for Jeremy, who's from Battle Lake, Minnesota. Dick Bramer will have you identify that in a moment. But first, a really cool story. He comes back from Afghanistan. It's his first time at the Twins game since. This is the cool part, is that he got back 3 days before his twins were born. Molly right here, Henry over here, and his lovely wife Stacy. And they're back at Target Field. What's it like? You have your babies, and you're watching your hometown team at Target Field.
Oh, it's awesome. I used to come here as a kid, and it's great to be at the new facility.
And then Henry wants a piece of this microphone, Bert. So with that, we're going to go back upstairs.
Well, congratulations. Thank you for your service. God bless you and your family. Good to be home.
Battle Lake over in the Fergus Falls, Detroit Lakes area. Outside, 1-2 to Danny Valencia. They've actually caught a walleye on a northern out of Battle Lake. Just one.
75 pitches for Liriano, 47 strikes.
2-2.
Liriano's given up 2 hits, both of them to Denard Span. Couple walks, 6 strikeouts.
And Valencia backs out of the way, and the pitch just low. 3-2. Strikes brought to you by Window Concepts. He's trying to get the leadoff man aboard here in the 5th. A high fly behind third base. And Ramirez loves it. 1 down. And before Dozier gets to the plate, we'll give you our AT&T trivia question. Who are the last 5 pitchers to no-hit a team they later went on to pitch for? All right. Francisco Liriano's one of them. Here's Dozier. Showing bunt, taking a strike. Oh, and 2. 80 pitches for Liriano with 1 gone in the 5th. Flipped the inside corner and he missed. Two and 2. Two and 2 to Brian Dozier. Change up, got him.
And strikeout number 7 for Liriano.
And it was on a cold May night in Chicago. Liriano walked 6, but got a no-hitter.
Yeah, that on May 3rd of last year, winning that ball game 1-0 in that ball game. Liriano threw 123 pitches, 66 strikes, 6 walks, only a couple strikeouts. But he shut out the Chicago White Sox.
Strike 1 to Carroll. Carroll drew another walk against Liriano with 1 out in the 3rd. Hard to center. Diaza running to the gap and cutting it off. So another 1-2-3 inning for Liriano. He set down 8 men in a row.
If something was close, you know, it's only as close as the other party or us saying yes, and we never got to that point. You know, you have a lot of things that ideas and things that get exchanged, but you know, it takes a little bit to get one of these things done, and unless both parties are satisfied, it just doesn't work out.
Strike one, Terry Ryan talking about the traffic, the rumored traffic, and the trade rumors surrounding the trading deadline, which was 3 o'clock Central Time this afternoon.
Yeah, I think, Dick, the bottom line is you're not just going to give players away and get nothing in return. It has to be a two-sided type of deal. So, you know, a lot of names I'm sure that Terry Ryan took, you know, from as far as clubs interested in certain players, some guys out in the bullpen. But you want to make sure what you get in return is hopefully going to fit in your system.
Well, Terry, a pretty good poker player, I'm guessing, but he kind of tipped his hand. He said, look, if we're going to move players, he's more interested in lower level pitchers in this instance who have high ceilings rather than someone who's just going to fill out the rotation in Rochester. You know, he was looking for someone who would be able to rise through the system maybe from the lower depths quickly and pitch at the top end of the rotation eventually. And of course, those are the most prized commodities for all 30 teams.
Well, you hope that, say, Pedro Hernandez, one player that they got from, you know, the Chicago White Sox, who's pitching very well at the minor league level, might be one of those young kids.
Blackburn to the bag. Carroll makes the throw. Piazza is retired, one away. Some deals that were made today.
Yeah, Ryan Dempster finally got traded. All the rumors, they ended up going to the Texas Rangers. Jonathan Broxton with the Kansas City Royals, now with the Cincinnati Reds, and a couple outfielders for the Phillies now wearing new uniforms. Hunter Pence now a Giant, and Shane Victorino out in LA with the Dodgers.
Those two trades on the right impacting the Twins. The Twins won't have to face Broxton anymore when they face the Royals, and they might have to face Ryan Dempster again as he goes to the Texas Rangers. Twins have one more series left with Texas. Lazy fly ball to right. Mascarani handles it, out number 2. If you're hitting the road, take the Twins with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv and see every Twins out of market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit twinsbaseball.com to order. Get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Home territory. Blackout restrictions apply.
Hey, how about the job that Nick Blackburn's putting up right now? Only 1 run allowed, only 2 hits, and they were back-to-back hits in the second inning. Sacrifice fly by Viciedo scored the only run off of Blackburn.
Up high, ball 1.
Throwing strikes. 68 pitches, 45 strikes, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
And Valencia will chase this foul pop. It's back in the seats.
So far, so good for Liriano. 5 shutout innings, 7 strikeouts.
Strike 2.
Good fastball right here. Good fastball, middle in.
Foul tip out of Doman's mitt. Liriano traded because he would be a free agent after this year. Blackburn is under contract for another year.
Yeah, so far so good. 15 pitches in the first. That's it. Some quick innings.
On the left field line, that will land on the seats.
Well, just showed you Blackburn now with 72 pitches. Liriano 5 shutout innings. He's thrown 85 pitches. 2 different type of pitchers right here. Blackburn relies on guys getting themselves out, good contact, and Liriano we've seen over the years a strikeout pitcher, but Blackburn gets a strikeout, his second, and getting done for the second time.
A 1, 2, 3, 6. Blackburn to set down 8 men in a row.
Willingham's family right there, his brother-in-law, his family, his wife Ginger's brother Wes, and family from Florence, Alabama. You are all hereby circled. I believe that was Jacob and Thomas holding up that sign.
Span takes strike one. He has a couple of hits. He has the only hits against Liriano. Soft line drive single to right, a little chip shot to left. Inside 1-1. Span, Mastroianni, and Mauer. Facing Liriano, who has been good in his first start with the White Sox. One and two. Liriano was supposed to start for the Twins on Sunday. Given a couple of extra days, extra bullpen session, whatever it took, he's ready to go and has pitched well here tonight. Two and two.
Slider missing right there. What we saw last couple innings, Liriano really going to that changeup a lot. So get ahead with a fastball, then mix in the changeup and this hard slider. Missed with the hard slider on Span. AJ putting down. Going to a fastball in.
And he strikes out Span with the heater.
And strikeout number 8 for Francisco Liriano.
That'll bring up Darren Mastroianni.
Staying inside. And Span swinging through it.
Mastroianni's hit the ball hard twice. Takes inside a ball. He lined into a double play in the first. And he drove De Aza into the gap in right center field with a fairly well hit ball. Tapper foul, 1-1. Mentioned that it's not a coincidence that an hour before Liriano threw his first pitch for the White Sox, they announced that their opening day starter, John Danks, who signed a long-term contract with the White Sox during the offseason, is done for the year. He's going to have shoulder surgery. And he's trying to rehab his shoulder, and they were hoping to have him back sometime in August, but it's not going to happen. That's off the end of the bat. Mastroianni might get a hit.
Yep.
Just the third hit right off the end of the bat. And Mastroianni's aboard with 1 out.
Well, his speed and where this ball was hit. Konerko was thinking, okay, I've got to go back to the bag because right off the end of the bat, Liriano's not going to get over there. Konerko finally goes to get the ball, but Mastroianni with his speed, no chance. Third hit for the Twins.
Down a run, we'll see what the Twins do with Mastroianni's speed at first. And Mauer at the plate, who has struck out twice. Can't even call Liriano a former battery mate of Mauer's because Mauer didn't catch him since Liriano came out of the bullpen a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was Drew Butera that was catching Liriano.
Up and away, ball 1. Mauer was up with runners at second and third, and 2 down in the third, and Liriano got a called third strike on a pitch that Mauer thought was ball 4. Mastroianni goes. Pierzynski's throw, and Mastroianni's safe. Ramirez came in front of the bag to field the throw that might have been a little short, and Mastroianni with a head first slide is in there.
Well, one thing we have seen from Mastroianni, who has over 200 minor league saves, here at the major league level, the outstanding base runner. Head first slide, getting that left hand on the bag. Steals his 10th base of the year in 12 attempts.
And now 2-0 to Mauer. Mastroianni to third, and there will be no throw. We've talked about this before, Bert. Mastroianni, his favorite part of the game is getting on base. He loves creating havoc out there. He stole it second and now third.
You see what Ramirez did to shortstop. He wanted either Francisco Liriano to step off or throw to second. And Mastroianni, as I mentioned before, 214 minor league saves or stolen bases. Got a great jump right there.
3-0 to Mauer. And ball 4. Mauer will go to first. Willingham to the plate.
Boy, if you're a pitcher and you come in that set position, you see your shortstop move in like Ramirez did, you have to step off. And what happened is that Mastroianni got a great jump, but you have to stop it right there. Ramirez talking to Liriano. Liriano walking Mauer, his third walk of the ball game.
Willingham has struck out twice, one swinging, one looking.
Oh, and Josh, a lot of changeups, a lot of sliders in his first 2 at-bats.
Up and away, ball 1. Tying run 90 feet away.
And this will be pitch number 100 for Liriano.
Blocked nicely by Pierzynski, and it's 2-0. Mauer walked on 4 pitches. Willingham now has a 2-0 count.
Change up right there, and Willingham took it.
To the Twins left fielder. Swung at ball 3.
I went back to that changeup. Thinking fastball, and that changeup just kind of just darts away from that right-handed hitter.
Three and 1. And Pierzynski's had his hands full. here in the inning with the tying run on base. Liriano's misfired a few times. Morneau on deck. He got a 2-0 changeup. See what he gets on 3-1. They're loaded up for Morneau.
Yeah, that coming from A.J. Pierzynski. Don Cooper, the pitching coach, coming out. Up until this inning, we have seen Liriano, a quick trip to the mound by pitching coach Don Cooper. But the first 5 innings for Liriano, boy, he really seemed to be hitting his spots. 8 strikeouts. Slider right there by Mauer in his first at bat. That slider, Willingham, went too far. Great pitch right there. An off-speed pitch. And then getting Mauer on that fastball called inside. First strike, and then Willingham on a slider. So 8 strikeouts for Liriano. He is struggling here in the 6th inning. Couple walks. An infield base hit started this rally for the Twins.
And the only ball put in play, Mastroianni squibbed it off the end of the bat. But now Morneau's up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Morneau walked in the 2nd, fly ball to left in the 4th. Ball 1. Twins have taken 4 walks, 3 hits, 1-0 to Morneau. Tapper right side. Mastroianni will score on a head-first slide. Konerko getting the out at the bag, firing toward home plate, and Mastroianni is going to score. And now Ron Gardenhire.
This ball went into their dugout or the camera well.
And that's what Ron Gardenhire is going to say.
Yep. The ball hit the back wall in the camera well and then deflected back. So that should be everybody should be able to advance a base.
So they're going to confer to see whether Mauer will also come in from 3rd base.
Take a look right here. Konerko decides to go home with the throw. He does look like did he step on the bag? Sure looked like it might have.
You know what? Morneau's still at first base. Right. They're not calling the out. I thought I saw him touch first.
Oh, we'll take a better look right here. Yeah, ball kind of skipped away. Well,
he tried to,
but the throw you could see on the where it went, and then right by the dugout hit the camera well.
Unless it hit the post.
No, it hit the back of the wall.
It did hit the back of the wall. Yes. Okay. But to my surprise, there's no out at first.
So he's trying to get the bag right there. Watch his foot try to slip and get it, but the throw out of the reach of Pierzynski, who's trying to stay at home plate. We don't have a good shot of where that ball went in, but definitely went into the camera well.
So now Pierzynski's going to question why there wasn't an out at first base. And Konerko coming in explaining to his catcher, I never touched it. But why the... And again, I wasn't following the ball. I saw the hard carom back on the field.
And that might have changed A.J.'s thinking, too, only because he thought maybe he touched the bag. It would have been he had to tag Mastroianni out rather than just a force out. And that's what Jay said. See, A.J., I think he's thinking that Konerko touched the bag, which means that A.J.'s got to protect the plate. It's not a force out at home anymore.
So the game has been tied. Perhaps the Twins should have taken the lead, but the bases are still loaded with only 1 out, and here's Domit. Down and in, ball 1. So Liriano hasn't exactly been knocked around the park here, but the game hanging in the balance 1-0 to Doman. A high pop-up. In foul ground, Youkilis will make the catch for the second out.
On a Morneau play, it will be a fielder's choice. Justin will get an RBI to tie the game. And Doman very upset that he missed this pop pitch and popped it straight up.
It's been an odd inning. The Twins have tied it up, but with the bases loaded and 2 out, it'll be left to Valencia to put them in front. Valencia called out on strikes in the second, popped up to short. One grand slam against Zach Greinke back when he was with the Royals. That kicks away. Pierzynski keeps it close to home plate. And Liriano's been all over the place. His control has been his worst enemy here.
Change up right there. Good job by AJ utilizing that chest protector to deaden the ball.
One and 0 to Valencia. Another block in the dirt. 2-0. So with the bases loaded, Liriano has fallen behind Morneau, fallen behind Doman, and now 2-0 to Valencia.
That's another changeup right there that AJ blocks.
Two and 0 to Danny Valencia. Toward the hole, cut off by Ramirez. He has no play. An infield hit for Valencia, and the Twins take the lead.
Yeah, look right, Ramirez, the only play he may have had is after throw to third base, but I don't think he had a little trouble getting that ball out of his glove. So Danny working the count to 2-0, got a fastball, hit it sharply. Ramirez, so right there, just couldn't find the handle on that baseball. Nice play right here by Ramirez, and then the ball slipping out of his hand.
The bases are reloaded now for Brian Dozier.
Valencia will get an infield base hit, an RBI, his 15th of the year. Twins lead 2-1.
Swing and a foul.
The infield base hit by Mastroeni, a couple of walks. Morneau's infield RBI, fielder's choice. Ball hasn't left the infield, but the Twins scored a couple runs.
Checked his swing, 1-1. Dozier, the 8th man to bat in this inning, that has not seen a ball hit out of the infield. Ticklish spot for Liriano. He's given up the lead. He's down 2-1, and the bases are loaded. Dozier lifts it high to left field. Going back is Viciedo. And on the track, he ends the inning. A long one, a weird one. And the Twins score a couple against Liriano. Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. Quench your thirst. Get any size soft drink or sweet tea for just $1. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. 2-1, the Twins finally break through against Francisco Liriano. Now we go to the 7th. Konerko leading things off, and there's a first pitch strike.
Yeah, Nick Blackburn doing his thing so far here tonight. Only 2 hits allowed, both of them coming in the 2nd inning. He's retired 8 straight.
Walked Konerko the last time he faced him. Up and in, 1-1. Most of the outs have come through the air, not on the ground, in this 8 at-bat string for Blackburn. To right field, hanging in the air for Mastroeni. 1 away. Time for the CenturyLink high-speed pitch.
Well, let's see how fast Blackburn has thrown his quickest fastball at 93. Liriano at 96. Liriano with 113 pitches thrown in 6 innings. You know, it's the 2 walks that really hurt him that inning. You can talk about the infield base hit that Mastroeni's got to go and get the rally going, but Liriano hurt himself by walking Mauer and Willingham. Kind of set up that little rally the Twins had.
1 strike to Rios. To the right side. Carroll cuts it off, picks it up, got him. What a play!
A very nice play by the veteran Jamie Carroll, going to his left. He has to dive for this ball, gets to it, and then from his knees, able to get Rios.
Two down, and here's Pierzynski. And strike 1 to Pierzynski.
Well, a lot of fly ball outs for Blackburn, but so far so good. A couple strikeouts, 7 ground ball outs, 11 fly ball outs.
Strike 2. One and 2.
That's a good pitch right there. If you miss down. Doman's going to block it, which he did. Ahead in the count. You try that breaking ball just on the other side of the plate. Going back inside.
Foul between Harold Baines and the line.
I left that ball a little bit outside. Let's see if Doman goes back in there again as a pitcher. If he does call it again, get it inside. And Blackburn wants to go back in there.
Hit him in the elbow pad. So Pierzynski goes to first with 2 away. 4th hit batter for the White Sox.
Well, you can almost see that Blackburn, you know, he missed with the previous pitch. I could almost tell him, I could tell that he said, I'm going to get this ball in there, and it just got a piece of A.J. Pierzynski's pad.
Here's Viciedo.
That hit batsman, the first hit batsman of the year for Nick Blackburn.
Down and away, blocked by Doman. Viciedo drove in the first Chicago run with a fly ball to right. Then he hit a line drive to Mastroeni in the 5th. Into the seats. 1-1.
'85 pitches, 58 strikes.
That's headed up the middle, a base hit. Pierzynski will round second and hold up there. So the tying run now at second with 2 down, and that'll bring up Alexei Ramirez. If you act today, you can get a steal of a deal when the Twins host Seattle on August 28th. For a limited time, you can get Skyline View tickets for just $13. The deal against the Mariners is only available for a limited time, and you can get it by logging on to twinsbaseball.com or by calling 800-33-TWIN. While you're at it, check out some of the other special event promotions coming up here at Target Field. You catch Twins baseball in 2012. So now the White Sox building a 2-out threat here in their half of the 7th inning. Alexei Ramirez has hit a line drive to Carroll and a ground ball to Dozier. Down and away, ball 1. Trying to finish off 7 innings, approaching the 90 pitch mark. That's to left, and that's going to die for a hit. Willingham's throw to the plate, smothered by Domit, and Pierzynski scores the tying run.
Yeah, with 2 outs right there, Ramirez just got jammed and hit it softly into left field. And with 2 outs, AJ's taking off with the crack of the bat, and he scores the tying run. So Ramirez, who's been a pest to the Twins over his career, picks up his 49th RBI.
See where the target was and where the pitch was delivered. Which shouldn't be our business to do it, but we'll do it. We'll apologize for Mr. Pierzynski's language as he went back to the dugout. We have microphones placed around the ballpark. Here's Beckham, first and second, with the tying run in here in the 7th. We used to see Jesse Crain warm up in the Twins bullpen for tight ball games like this. Gray and Richardson warming up in the Twins pen.
Robertson, the left-hander, Gray, the right-hander.
Down and away, ball 1. Beckham with a pop to short, and a ground ball to short. Twins scratched off across a couple of runs in the bottom of the 6th against Liriano, but he left the bases full. And now the White Sox tie it up with 2 runners out there and 2 out. Bouncer to short. Dozier over to Morneau, and that ends the inning. A hit batter, a pair of 2-out hits, and we're tied at 2. White Sox have tied it up as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. AT&T trivia question with Francisco Liriano done for the night.
Yeah, getting congratulated, and there's players that pitched no-hitters and then came back and played with that
Well,
team.
you're part of the answer, and you didn't even get that. You threw your no-hitter against the Angels, and then you finished your career
Oh,
with
yeah, you know I did. I should have known that.
Well, but in its own way, I think that should count as a correct answer.
We had Liriano.
Because you were part of the answer.
Well, here comes Jesse Crain. He's been on a disabled list a couple times with some shoulder soreness, making his 28th relief appearance. Jesse, of course, a former Twin for 7 seasons from 2004 to 2010. In his 2nd season with the White Sox. Yeah, good job by Blackburn. First time all season he's been able to complete 7 innings. So Blackburn at 91 pitches.
Carroll takes a strike on the outside corner. Carroll, Span, and Mastroianni in the Twins 7th. And that curve over the outside corner, 0-2.
Straight over the top breaking ball. Almost like a hard slider.
Fox Strikes brought to you by Carrier. 2 strikes to Carroll. Might be watching us at Fenway Park, at least in the visiting clubhouse. They got a rain delay, with the Red Sox leading the Tigers 4-1. Chicago starting the day with a 1.5 lead over Detroit in the Central. To the right side, easy play for Beckham. 1 down. Before Denard Span comes up, 3-time All-Star guard Brandon Roy is the most intriguing addition to the Timberwolves roster this offseason. He was introduced to Twin Cities media today. Read Joan Neeson's coverage at FoxSportsNorth.com. 1 gone, and now Span. At one point, the White Sox were in first place. And they had Jesse Crain from the right side, Matt Thornton from the left side, and a bunch of other rookie relief pitchers. And they went and got Brent Myers. Up the middle, Span has his 3rd hit of the night.
You know, the White Sox are a club, Dick, that are carrying basically 6 starters, so the bullpen has only 6 arms out there. Twins have 8 arms out there, 2 lefties, 6 righties. And for the White Sox, saw the pitch by the Span right there. Span getting his 3rd hit, all singles.
Mastroianni squibbed one off the end of his bat. He got an infield hit, stole 2nd, stole 3rd, eventually scored the tying run. Off the outside corner, ball 1. Crain, of course, had some shoulder problems with the Twins early in the season. He had some oblique problems. In spring training, it was one side. Then once the season started, it was the other side. Those quick feet and a very good pickoff move.
Yes, he does. He's very quick feet.
One and 0. Darren Mastroianni. 2-0. Sox have a rookie closer, Addison Reed, although Myers might get some opportunities to close before the season's over with. Three and 0 with Bauer on deck.
Crane usually pretty good at throwing strikes. Ball's behind. Mastroianni.
And missed badly. First and second one away. And Bauer will come up with 2 men aboard. No activity in the Chicago bullpen. They were counting on Crane to get through this inning without too much difficulty. And oddly enough, Joe Mauer's never hit against Jesse Crane. You would have thought at some point last year that Mauer might have hit against him, but of course Mauer had injury issues last year while Crane was healthy. Mauer walked and scored in the 6th inning. Joe hasn't put a ball in play yet. 2 strikeouts against Liriano, then the walk on 4 pitches. Outside ball 1.
Jesse, 31 years old, signed by the Twins in 2002. Twins number 2 pick back that year out of the University of Houston.
There's a fastball on the outside corner. Levson Septimo. The only other lefty other than Matt Thornton. Santiago, who started the year as the White Sox closer, was sent down to make room for Liriano on their roster. And you mentioned the 6-man rotation. The White Sox did that for a while last year, and Jake Peavy was kind of coming back from his injury situation. He pitched well out of a 6-man rotation. Gavin Floyd's had some issues this year. You have all the rookies. Outside 2-1. And so the White Sox, it's believed, will on and off have a 6-man rotation for the last 2 months of the season.
Yeah, protecting some of the young arms like Chris Sale.
Two and 1 to Mauer. 3-1. Crane is having a hard time throwing strikes.
Like really missing with that breaking ball, not really throwing a lot of fastballs. Now he's put himself into that fastball situation.
14 pitches, just 5 strikes so far. Have some speed on the bases. They'd like to set Span and Mastroianni in motion here. Three and 1. Lace to left center. Viciedo back. Makes a running catch. Diane Viciedo with a great catch on the warning track.
Well, Mauer gave it a ride, a line drive by Viciedo, who made a great catch off of Mauer's long fly ball last night. Take a look at the fastball right there. Mauer taking it the other way. Viciedo, good concentration. Nice grab over the shoulder. Well, the second out of the inning.
I don't know that Viciedo's going to win any Gold Gloves out there, but he's denied Mauer a couple of extra base hits already in this series. Here's Willingham. Popped up right side. Konerko under it. And Crane escapes a jam in the 7th. On to the 8th. Tied at 2 thanks to left fielder Diane Viciedo. Nick Blackburn with 7 strong innings.
Yeah, both starters pitching very well. Blackburn getting some ground ball outs and fly ball outs. Francisco Liriano took 2 walks in the 6th inning, kind of set him up. But here's a ball right here. Konerko shoots it past A.J. Brzezinski. Danny Valencia with an infield base hit scored the 2nd run. Twins had a 2-1 lead, but then in the top of the 7th inning, White Sox came back with an RBI single by Ramirez to tie it.
And Blackburn out there for the 8th inning, delivering strike 1 to Alejandro De Aza.
Yeah, Blackburn making his 16th start. First time this season he has worked into the 8th inning. 92 pitches, now 93.
And a deep fly to the left field corner. Two strikes to De Aza, will be followed by Youkilis and Dunn. De Aza with a bouncer to short, a fly to center, and a ground ball to Carroll. To center, hit right at Denard Span. 1 down. Rasmussen College is proud to present Student Days every Wednesday at Target Field. Students can attend the Twins White Sox game tomorrow at 12:10 and get a standing room only ticket for just $8. Student Day tickets are available beginning at 9 in the morning tomorrow. And there's a limit of 1 ticket per student with a valid ID. For more info, visit twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS. Ball 1 to Youkilis. The first 4 hitters for the White Sox are hitless against Blackburn. There's a strike.
You know, this is Nick Blackburn against the White Sox when he was really good. The last 3 starts I mentioned, 0-3 in ERA over 11, but prior to that, 16 starts against the White Sox, 9-5 with an ERA about 3.5. So Blackburn has been on his game here tonight against the ball club. He had success against early in his career, struggled as of late, but tonight going strikes. He only had 1 3-ball count, Nick Blackburn has, and that was to Paul Konerko in the 4th inning.
Adam Dunn has struck out twice against Blackburn. 0 for 3 on the night. Hitless in the series, 0 for 8. Twins shift Dunn, now Dozier creeping over to the first base side of second base. missing the inside corner. One and one.
Nice little breaking ball right here. Just took a little off. And clipping the corner. And he's working quickly, too. Gotta love that.
Carroll can't flag it down. And Dunn will get a base hit through the shift. And that will get Konerko to the plate with a man aboard.
Even with that shift, Carroll playing a short right field. Dunn still strong enough. Look at the shift. Look where Carroll's playing. Dozier playing up the middle. And Dunn hitting it to Carroll's right. He dives for it. It got by him. So Dunn picks up a base hit, his first, the 5th off of Blackburn.
Here's Konerko. For 2 with a walk against Blackburn tonight. Just in case Adam Dunn wants to think about stealing a base. He does have a couple of steals in 3 tries.
Last time Blackburn went 8 innings. You have to go back to last year against the White Sox. He won that ball game.
Hit hard to the corner, but foul. 1-1.
Be very careful of this guy right here, Paul Konerko.
One and one to Konerko. Hung an off-speed pitch, and Konerko swung right through it.
Good changeup right there by Blackburn. So pulling the string, and Konerko way out front.
One and two. Lefty Matt Thornton warmed up for the White Sox. Morneau will lead off. Switch hitter Doman will hit second in the bottom of the inning. That's to the right field corner. Mastroianni has a long run, but it's in the seats. If anybody was going to catch it from where he started, it was going to be Mastroianni.
Well, Doman out to talk to Blackburn right here about this pitch selection. I've mentioned before, I think Konerko's a very good breaking ball hitter. He just stays back so well, especially with 2 strikes.
Over the years, we've seen him strike out, but he strikes out on strikes. You don't see him chase very often either. 1 and 2.
Watch Doman. Oh, okay.
2 and 2.
Get that fastball away. Just nothing left inside. Konerko has the power, of course, to give the White Sox the lead.
Carroll
catch it.
Gets it. And Blackburn has completed 8 very good innings here tonight.
Great job by Nick Blackburn.
And the White Sox, we are tied late in the ballgame. We've got a big show coming your way after the final out is recorded on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We're going to talk about Francisco Liriano and his return tonight. He surrenders just 2 runs and 4 hits in 6 innings of work. You're getting Ron Gardenhire's post-game comments directly from the clubhouse. Plus, our instructional tonight with a former pitcher, Bert Blyleven, and also Ron Coomer. We're going to talk about pitching variations. What do we mean by that? We'll show you the difference between a fastball sinker pitcher like Blackburn and a fastball slider pitcher like Francisco Liriano. And Bert will take us through all that after the game in our instructional. And Dick Bramer, good night for Nick Blackburn. But earlier you mentioned Matt Thornton be the only other lefty for the White Sox, and he's in the game right now.
And he will pitch to Justin Morneau here.
Well, you know what? We're going to talk about Liriano, but what about the job that Nick Blackburn did? Longest outing of the year, probably his best start of the year.
Morneau takes a strike on the outside corner. It'll be Morneau, Domit, and Valencia.
Thornton worked in last night's ballgame. He threw 17 pitches, 10 for strike in a shutout inning in the 8th inning.
And he was the pitcher when Mauer hit the deep drive to left field. Mauer thought it was gone. Mauer also thought that Rios's drive that was caught by Span was long gone last night. And Morneau lines one to Youkilis. One away.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
So 1 down in the 8th. Very well read, by the way.
Thank you. We want to wish Jim Pellinger, our stage manager, a real nice time on his little vacation. Well, maybe we don't.
Well, yeah, I do, but where's he going?
He's going somewhere. Can we say? You don't want to talk about it.
1 strike.
You didn't want to talk about it.
Ryan Domit, who struck out against
I should have never brought it up then.
1 strike to Domit. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Well, we're going to miss you no matter where you go.
Danny Valencia will hit next. Checked his swing and the pitch dipped low. 1-2. Orioles beat the Yankees 11-5. Red Sox and Tigers still in a rain delay. Two and two. Doma with 10 home runs. You get a big hit here in the 8th inning. Little pop up hit to Beckham. And that's out number 2.
Well, Thornton has come in and retired the first 2 batters.
Last night the Twins won in walk-off style. Carroll's sacrifice fly in the 9th inning. It was their 4th walk-off win of the year. 2 games last night were won in a walk-off style with sacrifice flies. The game here and the game in Oakland. The difference is it was the A's 12th walk-off win of the year. 1-0 to Valencia. And a strike. I mean, that's remarkable. That's one of the main reasons why the A's are surprising everybody and hanging in the race.
You know what? When you're playing good as a ball club, good things happen like that.
Drive to right. Rios is there. And Thornton comes in and dispatches the Twins 1-2-3. Both Nick Blackburn, Francisco Liriano pitching well here tonight. Here's the Farmers Insurance report card.
Yeah, Blackburn, longest outing of the year. 5 hits allowed, 2 runs, both earned, couple strikeouts, 1 walk. And for Liriano, in his debut as a Chicago White Sox, good job. He just had a couple walks in that 2-run 6th inning for the Twins, where they tied the game. The Twins did. Went ahead. Oh, look at that beautiful little baby right there. You are hereby circled. Eat that sign, young man. Eat it.
Well, the hottest hitter for the White Sox, Alex Rios, will lead things off against Jeff Gray.
Gray making his 40th appearance.
First pitch fouled back. Rios doubled and scored in the second. Fly ball to right in the fourth. Ground ball to second in the seventh.
First appearance for Jeff Gray in this homestand.
Another foul. 2 strikes.
Gray in his first season with the Twins, 5th year at the major league level, came up with the Oakland A's, spent some time with the Cubs, the White Sox back in 2011 last year, and also the Mariners.
Honestly, I haven't seen him in a week and a half get jammed or hit one off the end of the bat. He just hits everything with the barrel of the bat. Leadoff hit here in the 9th.
Rios came into this ball game 8th in the American League in hitting at .311, and gets that barrel of the bat out quickly, just like he did with the double in the 2nd inning.
So Rios aboard, and now Pierzynski. With 2 out in the 7th, the Twins had just taken a 2-1 lead. Pierzynski was hit by a pitch. A couple of singles followed, and the White Sox tied the game. And he flips it foul.
Gardenhire looking at the lineup sheet. Twins have not turned a double play yet tonight.
Pulled foul, 2 strikes. So Gray, who got ahead of Rios, only to see him get a base hit, now gets ahead of Pierzynski 0-2.
Ron Gardenhire, like Tom Kelly, sometimes they look at that sheet and they're already thinking maybe, you know, a couple innings ahead. What if this happens? What do I do here?
There goes Rios, and the pitch driven to right field. And Pierzynski jerks one out. And the White Sox take a 2-run lead. For Pierzynski, his 18th home run of the year on an 0-2 pitch.
You make mistakes, and that's what Gray did right there. He hung a fastball to A.J., and he did not miss it. A.J., who hit a 3-run home run in last night's ball game in the 1st inning. It's a 2-run home run here in the top of the 9th. And the White Sox take a 4-2 lead.
And now Viciedo. Over, strike 1. That hasn't been the problem for Gray. 7 pitches, all strikes. But an 0-2 pitch hammered to left for a single, an 0-2 pitch hit over the fence for a home run. And now it's 0-2 to Viciedo. One and 2. White Sox closer Addison Reed warming up. And now 2-2. Foul ball. Carroll snags a hot line drive off the bat of Viciedo. One away.
If your glove is not broken it in, and it is right there. Carroll kind of looking at his glove.
We'll need to get that one relaced.
Restitched, yeah. That was a rocket.
So one down, and here is Ramirez. Outside, ball one.
Viciedo hitting this ball sharply. Carroll getting up, and the ball almost went through the webbing.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. You know, a lot of managers do it. Ron Gardenhire does it. You get a tie game through 8 innings. You're the home team. You can't have a save situation anymore. So go ahead and put your closer out there. But Glenn Perkins has pitched in the last 2 ball games, and the decision apparently made that he was not in position to pitch 3 in a row. Robertson warming up for the second time. Perdomo for the first time. Foul back 2-2, or 1-2, excuse me.
Well, you have a guy like Gray, too. I mean, he's 5-0 out of that bullpen. He's been pretty lucky being in the right place at the right time, getting some wins. And I think Gardy and Rick Anderson hoping, hey, give me a shutout inning. Maybe we'll win it in the bottom of the ninth.
Busted bat. Dozier going back. Makes a nice running catch. So Dozier retreats into short left field to gather in out number 2.
Yeah, not the easiest play right there is Ramirez, who kind of jammed himself to get that RBI single. Gets jammed again, and Dozier going back, making a nice play.
Inside, ball 1.
Beckham 0 for 3, a couple ground ball outs and a pop out.
Hit hard to left, and Willingham with a shoestring catch. 2 for the White Sox in the ninth. We'll see if the Twins can come back in the bottom of the inning. Wrigley Field. A.J. Burnett taking a no-hitter into the 8th inning. A great play here by Andrew McCutchen to keep the no-hitter alive. Adrian Cardenas broke it up with 2 outs in the 8th inning. A clean single to right. No pitcher has thrown a no-hitter at the Cubs since Sandy Koufax in 1965.
Wow. Yeah, A.J. Burnett is really, I mean, he's enjoyed his time in Pittsburgh. Having a great year. Well, here's Addison Reed, the closer for Don Cooper and Robin Yount and the White Sox. Looking for his 17th save. Oh, Robin Ventura, excuse me. I was just with Robin Yount, the Hall of Fame.
Okay,
sorry about
right.
that, Robin. Looking for a 17th save at 20 save opportunities. Always nice to give Robin Yount a nice plug.
Yeah. Well, Addison Reed, as we said, one of the rookies of the Chicago bullpen. The difference is he's asked to close games for them. He's done a good job. He's had a couple of really awful outings and really hasn't given much else up beyond those 2 ball games. Revere will hit for Dozier, then Carroll, and then the lineup rolls over with Span.
Yeah, Reed with a good fastball, hard slider, and a changeup. Signed by the White Sox just a couple of years ago. Made it through their system very quickly.
Ben Revere taking ball 1. Revere 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter. Of course, he usually is in the starting lineup. To the right side and through. So the Twins will get the tying run to the plate. So the leadoff man is on, and Carroll will hit. You understand in situations like this the shortness of the Twins bench.
Yeah. Good piece of hitting right there by Revere. Now, you know, he has all that speed, but Twins are down by 2, and Ben Revere getting an opportunity to keep a hitting streak alive. Now a career high 14-game hitting streak.
Carroll takes a strike over the inside corner. The only other bench players for the Twins are Alexi Casilla and Drew Butera. One strike to Carroll. And a ball, 1-1. Carroll singled the only time he faced Reed this year.
Well, Konerko holding Revere close to first base and on. That leaves that big hole, and we know Jamie Carroll, he can try to find that hole in the right field. Reed, a hard throwing right-hander.
And he left a pitch up. Carroll fouled it back to the screen. All the numbers good for Reed. Low opponent batting average, a dozen walks, 3 of those intentional, a strikeout per inning pitch. One and 2 to Carroll. Breaking ball, missing 2-2.
Now Reed, a tall right-hander, 6'4", throws a little bit across his body, and that slider just missing down and away. Rally hats are out.
And Revere takes off. Carroll lifts it foul into the seats.
Surprised Ben took off right there, only because, you know, I mean, Konerko has to hold him on. Jamie Carroll's so good at hitting that ball toward the right field area.
2-2. Revere stays put, and it's in the dirt. 3-2. Mentioned that the White Sox picked up Brett Myers from Houston. He closed games when given the opportunity in Houston, which wasn't very often. A lot of people thought, well, maybe the White Sox will have Myers do the closing. Well, for the time being, it's the rookie Addison Reed. Full count. Revere goes, and the pitch grounded to the right side. Beckham to Konerko, one away. And that'll bring up Denard Span, who's got 3 hits already tonight.
Yeah, Span in the first inning, softly hitting this ball into right field. Off of Francisco Liriano, and then just kind of laying out the bat and hitting this in the left field. Then you got Better Wood in the 7th inning. Ball up. And took it right back up the middle. That off of Jesse Crain.
Span with 3 hits tonight has the average up to 295. Lace to center. It's a 4-hit night. Revere going to be waved in, and it's a 1-run ball game. That'll bring up Mastroianni.
Denard Span's been named in trades, and he was so happy that he stayed here and kind of get maybe his way of paying back, saying thank you for keeping me here. 4 hits in tonight's ball game. Another one right over the head of Reed in the center field. And a speedy Ben Revere scoring from second base.
You know it's hit hard when the pitcher's reaction is to duck instead of trying to get the glove up. Well, here's Mastroianni. A number for a hit and a run scored. He walked in the 7th, 1 for 3. Hit the ball hard a couple of times. And now Span and his ability and willingness to steal a base come into play here.
15th career 4-hit game for Denard Span.
Outside the ball. Mastroianni's never faced Reed. At the knee, 1-1.
Reed just 23 years old out of San Diego State University, where he was the closer, signed by the White Sox in 2010. Stole a base in the 3rd inning off of Francisco Liriano. 12 stolen bases on the year.
Hang and breaking pitch, fouled back to the screen. I mentioned Hector Santiago was their closer at the start of the year, and he was taken out of the role. Thornton had it for about a week. 15 blown saves for the White Sox. One and 2 to Darren Mastroianni. Struck him out. 2 down, and that'll leave it to Mauer.
Just reared back and challenged Mastroianni and threw the ball by him for his first strikeout, the second out of the inning.
Mauer hitless, put 1 ball in play, hit a rocket, looked like it was going over the head of Viciedo on left, but he made a nice running catch on the warning track. Ball 1.
fastball at 95.
Twins 1-1 in the bottom of the ninth last night, winning 7-6. Tap to the right side, 1-1. With a 4-game winning streak, a perfect homestand so far, having swept the Cleveland Indians. Bounce to Konerko, bobbled by Konerko, stumbling, flipping, got him. Well, that was an adventure.
Konerko may have hurt himself on that.
Last night, the Twins won a 1-run ball game. Tonight, the White Sox, and some concern about Konerko limping after an awkward play, slipped in the dirt, flipped to Ryu, barehanded it for the final out. Some good starting pitching in this game tonight, or Jimmy John's delivery of the game goes to the Twins starter Nick Blackburn.
Yeah, first time this year Blackburn has worked 8 innings, gave up only 5 hits, a couple runs, season high 106 pitches. But it's a White Sox. Behind A.J. Pierzynski, 2-run home run in the 9th inning that beat the Twins 4-3.
Each team with a 1-run win in the series. Anthony LaPanta.
We'll preview the deciding game. We'll hear from Ron Gardenhire. Look at a solid night for Nick Blackburn. All